Frickin' Brian, thank you for the gift. Isn't Biden winning only 2 of the bellwether counties in 2020 enough of a red flag that there was election shenanigans? Yeah, frickin' Brian, man. Bringing that back. That's right. I think if I recall, there's about 17 or 18 bellwether counties where the candidate that won the majority always ended up winning the election. The one exception was 1960, if I recall, when that was blatantly stolen by John Kennedy's father down in Texas. That's where Lyndon Johnson comes in and all that sort of stuff. So there was some serious corruption. Nixon knew it. He didn't fight it. And then you have people go, why doesn't Trump just act like Nixon? Because he's not part of the establishment. But if you won a majority of the states, you won. You always won the election. They were bellwethers. And I think there were 18 states. And yes, if I recall, I thought Trump won 17 of 18. You might have the second one. I thought one was Suffolk County, where I am in Delaware, but that's just because Biden won, so that's explicable. But yeah, there's no question. And there are other bellwethers. The candidate that wins both Ohio and Florida always wins the election since 1865. Again, 1960 being the one exception. Ohio and Florida. Oh, Trump won Ohio by 10 and he won Florida by 4. Right. So, and then if I recall, there was another one, Trump, Florida, Ohio, and Iowa. If I recall, if you bring Iowa in, same thing. Every election since 1865, no exceptions except for 1960, and of course Trump won Iowa by 10. So yeah, there were way too many shenanigans, obviously.
While we know constitutional carry is sweeping the nation, millions of Americans and even you courageous patriots out there, you turley talkers, you're still stuck in blue or weak red states restricting your constitutional right to bear arms. Well, don't worry, gang. Countrywide Concealed is probably the quickest way to get carrying legally in the majority of the United States. That's right. You won't just be able to carry in your state, but in 84% of the whole of the US of A. It's as quick as watching a video and taking a quiz, and thanks to Countrywide Concealed, your family is that much safer from a myriad of threats no matter where you go. Getting a concealed carry license has literally never been easier, so just click on that link below and join the millions of patriots who've taken back their rights and started carrying legally with Countrywide Concealed today.
Charles Turner Jr., my friend, good to see you. Thank you for the gift. As always, you mentioned how President Trump was the first Republican candidate to win over 300 electoral votes since Bush 41 won 426 in 1988. Do you think a Reagan 1984 landslide could be possible? Not at this point, Charles. I don't see it. Not with California, as I understand, California's demographics has now changed. It's changed. It's about 90% coastal metropolitan populations. It's rural populations basically been decimated. Just too many people have left. They've gone to California, they've gone to Arizona, they've gone to Idaho, or they've gone up north, Oregon, Washington. Just too many people have left. So its politics now are just totally dominated, at least in terms of statewide politics, totally dominated by the coastal elite vote. So I don't see California going red anytime soon. Again, it's going to change when you have a cosmopolitan paradigm shift, very much like what you're seeing in a lot of the cities in Europe, like Verona, for example, which is a pro-life city. I saw it myself personally. It's formally a pro-life. The city council passed a pro-life resolution there. So I mean, you're going to see, places, cities generally are more liberal. They're more, cosmopolitan leftist, but you could start seeing them turn more rightist, like we're seeing in Europe. And when that happens, then California will change, or California might split apart. We might say they may want to just secede, because there's very powerful secessionist sentiments on the left, as well as Right. So no, I don't see a plus 400 coming, but definitely a plus 300 with Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona in play. Definitely. Georgia, definitely a post 300 again. So thanks, Charles.